Welcome to the Whitwam Wealth Real Estate Podcast. Today our topic is the big lie in real estate investing.
Welcome to the Whitwam Wealth Real Estate Podcast with Scott Whitwam, your blueprint to financial abundance. Settle in as we explore the mindset and methods for wealth building through real estate.
Welcome back. I'm Scott Whitwam, and I'm glad you've joined me today for the big lie in real estate investing. So what is the big lie? You know, there are actually many coaching students and dreamers that I hear from repeating this big lie often. I think the big lie in real estate investing is you have to have a lot of money. You have to be rich. You have to have tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars to invest in real estate. This is a big lie. Money is not the limiting factor to whether you can invest in real estate or not. It is likely some lender or some real estate agent that told you that. Or maybe you heard it on some financial advisor show. Work hard and save, work hard and save, work hard and save. And then when you put away 5, 10, or 20% of what a property will cost you, any of them that you want to buy, tens of thousands of dollars, then you can invest. On a $300,000 house, you may have to put $60,000 plus closing cost. This is a big lie. Money is not your limiting factor. The number one limiting factor for someone getting started in real estate investing is your mindset. Your mindset will do more to keep you or from allowing you to be successful in real estate investing than anything else. What you can or can't do, what you can or can't get started, will be limited by your belief system. So let's get back to the big lie. You have to have a lot of money. You have to be rich. You have to have tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars to invest in real estate. Nothing could be further from the truth. Having capital is always a good thing. If you have access to it, then great. You're in a great position. If you have a lot of it, you can buy, professional franchises. You can, buy properties for cash with your own money, all those kind of things. But what if you have no cash or you have limited cash and resources available? Then what you need is a plan. You need a system. The very first investment property that I ever bought was purchased with no money down, no closing costs, no credit check, and no background check. This was back when there was no internet, no podcasts, no YouTube, nothing to teach me how to easily utilize a system like this. What I had was a plan, and then I executed the plan, and I acquired my first real estate investment. People have been telling me all of my life what I can't do. You don't have enough money to do that. You don't have enough skill to do that. You don't have enough credit to do that. You don't have enough of this. You don't have enough of that. And people are the ones who came up with this lie that you have to have money to invest in real estate. But over and over again, I've been able to show people how to buy properties with no money down. If you're just considering or just getting started in real estate investing, you may feel limited by your bank balance. Then it's time to develop an investing plan that considers the possibility of no money down opportunities. And if you're a long-term investor and you want to get more leverage with the cash and resources you have, maybe no money down opportunities will help fit into your portfolio and create some added value to your investing business. Let me show you how to do this. It's pretty easy. First, what you have to do is write the vision. Write something down really simple so you have a vision. Buy an investment property with the resources that I have. Second, learn a no money down strategy. I talk about no money down quite often. I wrote a book, No Money Down, How to Invest in Real Estate with No or Low Down Payment. I did this to help people with this very limiting belief that you have to have a lot of money to get started in real estate investing or to expand your real estate investing business. And you can get a free copy of this book just by going to www.nomoneydowncoach.com. That's www.nomoneydowncoach.com. We're giving it away free for a limited time to our podcast viewers. So you can find also a link to this in the podcast description. You can click on it and you can get a copy of this book absolutely free to help you to overcome this limiting belief that you have to have a lot of money to invest in real estate. The third thing you need to do is you have to start looking for opportunities. And people ask me all the time, where do I find these type of deals? So let me just answer that pretty quick. Where do you find these type of deals? About anywhere. You can find no money down opportunities. You can find low money down opportunities almost anywhere. I found them by just knocking on doors. I found them by going to garage sales. I found them through networking events. I found them through my referral networks. I found them through friends and family, and so on and so on and so on. Here is the easiest way, because people come and they go, well, yeah, I just don't have a big network and stuff. Well, let me tell you, here's the easiest way to make money in real estate investing with virtually no risk and no money down. And that is start off by becoming a deal digger. Some people call them bird dogs or referral partners. Investors like me and companies like mine, they work with deal diggers and pay awesome commissions just for finding the deal. Your name doesn't have to be on the contract. You don't have to worry about coming up with money to close the deal. You don't have to worry about repairs. You don't have to worry about selling the deal. You don't have to worry about any of that. And then you can use the money that you make from becoming a deal digger to buy your own investment properties with money that you generated just from being somebody's referral partner. You think, well, how much money can I make doing that? Thousands. We pay oftentimes anywhere from $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, even $20,000 for just one referral. And I'm not alone. There are many investors out in the marketplace just like me, and they're looking for people to be a referral partner, to be out there and be a deal digger, a bird dog, to find these deals, because you have a network of people that I don't have. You're going to come across people who need to sell properties for cash. They need money quickly. They need to be able to close quickly. And so you can get paid for being a real estate investor. You're basically working as an outside sales agent of a real estate investing company. And there are many companies like mine looking for people just like you. And you can get started in this with no money at all. So, and once you start to realize, all of these fallacies that have been created, maybe some by other real estate investors, your lender, your real estate agent, they're about keeping you from being able to invest, so that you can't focus on what's important. If they can just dissolve your vision before you even get started, you're going to be stuck. So let me answer the question about how do I invest then? How do I do this? So for me, I may do it different than other people, but I've told this story a lot of times, but it's true, and it's my story, and this is how I got started in my real estate investing career 35 years ago. Many people have been, prohibited, stopped, held back from investing in real estate simply because of these lies. And my story isn't a perfect example, but it is a great example because not everybody is going to come across the same first deal. I've met people over the years that are just like me, and they have different but similar stories on how they got started. So mine may not be the perfect example for you, but it certainly is an example, and it's not unlike many other examples of people who got started this way. My first real estate investment happened when I was cash strapped. My credit was tanked. I was overextended. My wife and I had applied for a home loan, and we got turned down. So if anything had told me that I could not buy an investment property, it was the institution, the banking industry. They told me, there's no way you can do this, you can't afford it. I had no cash available because we were investing everything into our investment. I couldn't put a down payment down, even if I had to. We were building our manufacturing company. My credit score was low because of all of the business credit we had taken out to buy new equipment and everything that we had to do in order to build that manufacturing side of things. really what I had was my personal name. I mean, that's pretty much what I had left. And one day I'm driving in my car and I see a property that I had always wanted to buy. I mean, I had spent years walking the train tracks and fishing on the back part of this property on this big bass and catfish pond. And I always thought, man, if there was ever an opportunity to buy this property, it had a huge warehouse on it, and so you're just dreaming. One day I'm driving by and there's this 4x8 piece of plywood painted and it says for sale by owner. And I think to myself, just like you, I can't afford that. I wasn't in a position to buy anything. But you know what I did? I stopped the car. Now, this was before there were cell phones, so I couldn't just take out my cell phone and call the number. I actually had to write down the phone number, and then I drove to my destination where I was going, and I got on the phone, and I made a call, and nobody answered. And I did this for a couple weeks, dialing the number, nobody answered. This is back when if you had an answering machine, it was the old kind, the reel-to-reel or a cassette you'd put in it, an actual answering machine. Nobody answered. I couldn't get hold of anybody. But I drove by this direction, probably at least, once a week or once every 2 weeks. And so I kept my eye on the property. And the for sale sign was still up there. The gates to the property were still locked. And then one day I was driving by, and somebody was at the property. Of course, I thought it was probably the owner, the seller, the guy who was there. He was doing something, maintenance on the property. He was back at the big warehouse. So I drove in and talked to the person who was there and found out that he was actually the person who was living there, who had owned the place before, and it had been foreclosed upon. And so the owner of the property, now the one who had foreclosed on it, had given him a few months to get all of his stuff out of the big warehouse. And so I just asked him, I said, how do I get hold of this guy? He never answers his phone. And so he gave me the name of his business. He gave me the phone number to the business and just told me that the guy's very hard to get hold of. He's rarely in the office. He's really, kind of in partial retirement, so he and his wife traveled a lot. And so I sought out to find this guy. Now, his business was about an hour away from where I was. And so I relentlessly drove to the business and would see signs on the door, closed, be back tomorrow. So I'd go back tomorrow and the same sign would be on the window. I would call and I left message after message after message. And after 2 weeks, finally, somebody was in the business because I was relentless. I kept going after it. And that's one of the things that I find with a lot of starting real estate investors, and even some of you guys have been doing this for a long time. You've lost your fire and relentlessness about pursuing some of these opportunities. And so I was relentless, and I went back to his business again, and somebody was there, and I went in. It was a receptionist, and she said, oh, no, he's on vacation. And, I've got his messages, but here, let me give you his home phone number. And so I called, same thing, left a message on his phone recorder, and it was over another week before I didn't get a call back. I finally got somebody to answer the phone at their house. And he just apologized. He says, hey, we've been traveling, and, back then you couldn't just dial in and get all your phone messages real easy. And so he said, we've been traveling, and we hadn't got back to any of our messages yet. And I got a chance to talk to him. And I told him that I wanted to buy his property. And he told me what he wanted for it. I thought the price was reasonable. And then I made my pitch. Here's my big pitch to him. Well, right now I don't have any money. I've got a business, so I'm pretty tapped. I've got, no way to go and to get anything. And so would you consider selling me the property on time with no money down, with nothing down? And he said, yes. He said, what do I got to lose? He said, I sold it to the other guy. And I guess he had traded. He was into selling yachts. It was a yacht sales business, and he had sold him a yacht and had financed the rest of it and taken the property as security, and the guy couldn't pay off the yacht, and so he repossessed the property, and I don't know the rest of it. I just know that he repossessed the property, and he said, hey, I took a chance on the other guy. Why don't I take a chance on you? And he said, let's do it this way. why don't I give you a lease option? You give me the first month's lease payment. And he says, and then I'll need a month's worth of deposit on the property. And you can have, I can't remember what it was. It was like 6 months or something to come up with the deposit amount. And you can start to move in. Here's the only deal. I'm making no repairs on the property. And I said, not a problem. So I actually got into that property under a lease option with no money down. When we were ready to move in, I gave him the first month's rent. He actually even told me to write the paperwork up. He goes, write up the lease. And I wrote up the lease. I wrote up the option contract. I took it to him. He signed them. I gave him the rent money. We moved into the property. And the property had some significant issues, but we began to remodel the property. We were going to do this thing as an investment rent hack and end up with a property that we wanted to have, be able to make it a rental property, all of these things. And we went in and did the work. We bought that property for no money down. And so I resist the big lie all the time because I know it can be done. I've done it. I know other people have stories very similar to mine about how to do this. This is one of the reasons why I love this business. But unfortunately, we're out of time. You've been listening to the Whitwam Wealth Real Estate Podcast. And today's episode has been about the big lie in real estate. So I want to thank you for taking time to listen. And if you found this episode, The Big Lie in Real Estate Investing, helpful, be sure to subscribe, leave us a review. And if you have any questions, we'd love to hear from you. You can always find the Whitwam Wealth Real Estate Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you enjoy listening to podcasts. This is Scott Whitwam. Be sure to join me on the next episode of the Whitwam Wealth Real Estate Podcast, where we're wealth building through real estate.